Hey everyone, welcome back to Garnock Reviews, where today we're checking out a 1995 Wellcraft 46 Cockpit Motor Yacht that's for sale. This one's listed for Yacht Brokers of Daytona, and at the time of shooting this video she was up for sale for $109,000, tax not included, and laying in Daytona Beach, Florida. This is a yacht that offers itself to many different buyers because you can use this one as a long-term liveaboard, you can use it for extended cruising, you can use it for offshore fishing, or of course you can use it for a combination of all three. Over the past few years this one's benefited from time, money and effort invested into it. This includes replacing the two air conditioning units. The engines have had a complete rebuild with only 60 hours on the clock since. There's upgraded electronics. There's a new Kohler generator. And the accommodation benefited from updated carpets and flooring. As we make our way along the pontoon toward the stern, I love all the handholds and guardrails that's in place, makes you feel very safe and secure. And then as we get near the aft cockpit you'll see the rod holders that's in place for offshore fishing and trawling. Boarding's easily done by stepping on the bathing platform, and I like that this extends out both port and starboard. And then we've got a solid transom door leading into the cockpit. This would be a great spot for fishing. And for those that's into swimming and diving, there's also a shower here as well to rinse off when you get back on board. And inside the lazarette, that's where you'll find the Kohler 8kW generator. And you see we've also got a spare anchor and chain. And if you're careful there's room in here for some ropes and fenders, things like that. And you can access this cockpit from the owner's suite, but I'll show you that in more detail from the inside. And then as we pan round, it's just a few short steps up, and that takes you to the aft deck. And this one benefits from a fiberglass hardtop. This has got LED recessed lighting built into it as well. You'll find a very comfortable bench seat, and there's storage underneath this seat. You've got a little cockpit table in front of it. And then to the side we do have a wet bar with a sink and ice maker. You see we've got more fenders and fender baskets to keep those safe and secure. And then again notice the solid handrails that's in place, especially if you're going to have young family on board. As we make our way around to the bow, notice how clear the deck is. Things like the cleats are all off to the side, you don't need to worry about tripping on anything. Most of the windows have got canopy covers, and that way it protects all the interior from the heat in Florida. And then when you do get to the bow there's plenty of space on deck, either for fishing, you could use this for laying out, for sunbathing, relaxing. And then at the very front we've got the electric windlass, and this can be operated from the deck, but it can also be operated from the helm. And I like how the anchor drops and is retrieved as far forward over the hull. That way you're less likely to get any damage when you retrieve it, especially in any sort of weather. And as we pan around and get that profile, this boat's pushing 30 years old, but she still commands attention anywhere she goes. I personally think this one's aged well and doesn't look like an older boat compared to some of the others I've seen. And then once back in the aft deck, I'll take you up into the Flybridge. It's just a few short steps. I personally loved how much seating was up here. You can definitely bring your family and friends along with you for cruising. There's a ton of storage underneath these seats. And you can see we've got it fully enclosed with the canopy covers, including the bimini top overhead. But these can be removed in sections, or they can be rolled up to open for extra ventilation if you wanted. And in terms of electronics, this one's well equipped. It's got a 12.5-inch Raymarine multifunction display, as well as a 9-inch Raymarine multifunction display. These are connected to chart plotter, radar, depth, sonar, but they're also hooked up to CCTV color cameras. We got an autopilot, we got a standard Horizon VHF radio. This one's got track vision satellite TV, and there's a Clarion stereo system throughout. I love the somewhat central location of the helm. That way you get perfect visibility whenever it comes to close quarter manoeuvring. We even have a clear section above the aft seat so that you can see straight through to the aft deck. And then if we pop back down onto the aft deck, this time I'll take you into the lower accommodation. Again, it's just a few short steps. And then once you get in here, you can see the full advantage of the size of this boat. She actually measures just under 52 foot in length. She's got a beam of 14.5, and she's got a maximum draft of 3.5 feet. On the port hand side, we've got a very comfortable sofa. You can see there's storage behind that, and this sofa is easily to slide out the way. On the port quarters where you'll find a TV, and there's a storage cabinet underneath. And if you are looking at using this for an extended period of time, storage is always a key concern, but that's not an issue with this boat, because there are storage lockers, cabinets and drawers everywhere. And as I pan around and look at the bow, you can see the advantage of keeping those windows covered up. It keeps the boat cooler and darker when it's not in use. But we do have plenty of windows here, but you would get a ton of natural light once these canopy covers were removed. And to starboard we've got a futon in here. So it's currently set up as a sofa, but you can pull this out and it becomes a double berth. I liked how accessible the main control panel was, but also liked how well it was labelled. It's very quick and easy to know what to switch on and switch off. And then moving forward takes you down into the galley. The galley is always the main one that concerns me about liveaboard use, but I can't say that with this one. It is so well equipped. Not only do you have a ton of storage and countertop space, but you've got the electric stovetop. You've got a microwave oven, you've got a really good size fridge and a good size freezer. And this can all be run off of shore power, but it can also be run off of the generator that I showed you earlier in the aft cockpit. And then as we move across to the port hand side opposite the galley, there's so much storage here it's almost like having a kitchen pantry on board. I've never seen as much storage in a galley for a boat this size before. And I liked how the doors open and close, where it's got a kind of latch in place. That way everything will stay safe and secure while the boat's underway. And as you can see, there's plenty of room here for all your dry goods, different cans and jars and things like that. And then if we move forward, that'll take you to the main head compartment on board. This has got an electric flush head, it's got the sink, it's got the shower with plenty of headroom, plenty of storage for your toiletries and personal belongings. And then behind that mirror door you see on the right hand side, that actually leads into the forward VIP cabin. So that way those that are staying in that cabin have still got somewhat privacy for accessing the heads compartment. And if we move forward into that cabin, you'll see that we've got a large centre berth. I like that it's accessible from either side. I like the amount of headroom that's in here. We also have a ton of natural light and artificial light. And then as I pan round, to start off with, you'll see that door that leads into the heads compartment that I just showed you a few seconds ago. Then behind the mirror door, you've got ample locker space. And next to that, I like the way it's got the light switches where everything's all connected together, but it's easily accessible as you enter this cabin. And then moving forward again, we've got more storage in this glass door. There's shelves in here. And normally I try and move the owner's personal belongings out of the way when I'm doing these videos, but I wanted to show just how much documentation, receipts and maintenance records are stored on board. And that includes the full engine rebuilds that show that this has only got 60 hours on the clock since then. Above the pillows will take you into the anchor locker. You got another TV on the starboard side, and remember this one does have satellite TV on board. And then you've got more hanging locker space, again on the starboard side behind this mirror door. And as if all that wasn't enough, there's drawers underneath the bed as well. So as I say, for those that's looking for extended cruise and a liveaboard use, this is a boat to seriously consider, especially for the money. And if I take you back through the saloon, this will take you to the aft cabin, and this is the owner's stateroom. It's got an angled queen size berth, and that way you got more room here, and it's also accessible on either side. You can see I've got the door open that leads out to the aft cockpit. This cabin again offers a flat screen TV hooked up to that satellite TV system. And then without opening every door and drawer in here, you can see as we pan round, there's a ton of storage on offer. This ranges from shelves to drawers to hanging locker space. Now I'm sure you're probably expecting this one to be ensuite with its own heads compartment, which it does. But what you're probably not expecting is this one's actually got a bathtub with a built-in jacuzzi. It does also have the electric flush head. It's got the shower, and they've got plenty of storage in here for your toiletries and personal belongings. There's been no expense spared in the design, the build and the upkeep of this boat over the years. Then I'll lead you out the aft cockpit, and you can see there's a little sofa here next to the bed, which as I get older would be great for putting my shoes on right before I leave the boat. And then I'll take you into the engine room. This is located in the main saloon. You're looking at a pair of Caterpillar 3208. These are V8 diesel engines. They're approximately 435 horsepower each. Or coupled to twin disc transmissions. You should be looking at a cruising speed somewhere around 18 knots and a maximum speed of around 24 knots. You got a 120 gallon freshwater tank. That's a plastic tank. You get 40 gallon of holding tank, again plastic, and you've got 4 times 420 gallon of aluminum diesel tanks. I personally liked how accessible everything is for the day-to-day maintenance, from your oil and fuel water separators, checking on the oil and fuel filters, and then even the battery banks are easily accessible. The easier everything is to access, the less likely it is to be neglected over time. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on this one. If you could leave a comment down below. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe button, it really does make a difference. And I'd love to thank the Yacht Brokers of Daytona for allowing me this opportunity to come on board and take a look and share this video with you. I look forward to catching you on the next one. Thanks everyone.